Is Apex officially in the what's the other game series they do?
Yeah, it's in the same world. They
It
even
is?
like
Okay.
yeah, so like the logo for Apex Legends shows up in the Titanfall 2 campaign.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, when I don't know if you were have you played it?
I've played like 2 missions of Titanfall 2.
Okay, so you wouldn't know the scene I'm
Mm-mm.
talking about then,
Mm-mm.
but I did
Sorry.
do remember the part because like
Cool.
the main Titans you fight are I think they're Apex Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's what they're called.
What do we got? Creeper World
That's my
4? What? That sounds awesome.
well, you haven't played the first games.
Yes, I have. What are you talking about?
Oh, have you?
Yeah, of course I've played Creeper World. That's
Okay,
awesome.
that makes me way more happy because those are some awesome games. I
They,
have all 3 of them
yeah.
on Steam.
Oh my goodness. I've been looking for them forever because I keep wanting to play them on Android and I can never find because it's kind of it's it's an RTS, but it's like a really slow moving RTS where
Yeah,
like
it's designed to be paused whenever you want, kind of
yeah.
like a They Are Billions,
Hmm.
where it's like, oh, you want to pause here? We're gonna want to make sure you pause whenever you want to.
Yeah, exactly. And you can just oh man, now I want to go play Creeper World. Oh boy.
Dude, I have like 30 hours on the third game
There's no Creeper World
on
multiplayer, is
Steam.
there?
No,
No.
there's not.
Oh man, that's too bad.
But if you do want to get back into it, definitely consider the third game because there's a lot of good stuff.
Hold on, what is this? Multiplayer has arrived? This is something I've been putting together in my spare time over the past couple of months. The map's my attempt to turn Creeper World 3 into a turn-based strategy. Here's how it works. Download the map, unpause the
Oh,
map.
turn-based strategy. Ooh.
Hold on. You choose a passcode pin 4-digit number to play with. Then you save the map and pass the save along. Oh, this is weird.
Oh.
This is a weird thing. I don't know. Did you ever see that one it was a game jam. It was a game jam about the theme of the game jam was religion, and I forgot what creator put this forward, but they built a copy of Minecraft that you could only turn on once on a computer. I forgot what it linked it to or something, but like if it recognized that it was on your computer, it only let you load up the game once. And the moment you died, it saved the file, locked it down, and you were no longer allowed to play on that computer, and you had to pass along the game to the next person. Did you ever see this?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
First of all, are you recording yet?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it was this interesting little project where they wanted to turn Minecraft into a big like developing world where there's all these mysteries and everything put together by other players who are never allowed to play it again. So it's almost like you're traveling through past generations of players and all of their work. And depending on how far they got in a single life, like they could have built something huge and monumental. And you have to go explore and just discover everything. It was a really fascinating.
I like that concept of
Yeah.
maybe like you get an hour in game and then you have to give it on to pass it along to someone else, but maybe you only get like the entire game only gets one world.
Yeah. It was really cool. It was
I know for Factorio there was I've seen a couple posts about people doing world exchanges where you play in someone else's world for a time and then you pass it along, which is also that's just a cool idea too. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I might have found it. Chain World? Is it called Chain World? The design challenge is essentially a contest. 3 game designers compete. I don't care about that. He put up a slide of Minecraft, which is like an adventure game. Exhaustible Minecraft lets you learn. I don't stop explaining what Minecraft is. Okay, this whole art, this Wired article is like pages and pages long, and I'm pretty sure a good chunk of it, like the first several pages, is just explaining what Minecraft is.
I mean, Wired isn't exactly known for their superb journalism.
Good lord, this is terrible. Yeah, Chain World. That was it. Let me see. Is there a whole bunch going around? I think the idea was that like there's a whole bunch of these things made and they get passed around to people. Jason Rohr, that's the person who made it. Jason Rohr,
Doesn't
computer
ring a
designer,
bell.
Cornell University. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. But yeah, I don't know why I thought of it on the last podcast, but it was something I wanted to bring up. Um, it was a fascinating concept of a game to build it like a religious experience where you're kind of going through and discovering things you'll never fully understand because those creators are long gone. Like you'll just never meet them. And they're building this huge world around you with all of these different hidden mechanisms and chambers and stuff. And you get to go explore what they did. No, it's just like a big huge world where you get to go explore things that other people have done, but you never get to talk to them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like I was saying in Factorio, there are other games where it's kind of like that.
Yeah. So what's this Creeper World 4? Is this coming out soon?
It's in development right now.
Is it? That's
He's
awesome.
the developer's been posting videos, so it's in a kind of pre-alpha stage right now. It's not for sale yet,
Okay.
but it's gonna be a thing.
That game, yeah, it every time so okay, so I first started playing this game when I was a lot younger, and every time since then, I've never remembered what the game is. And so I rediscover it every time. And every time I rediscover it, I love it even more. What did you just post?
It's a Steam link if you want to like add it to your wish list or something.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. I will add it to my wish
Yeah,
list.
so it's interesting because it's gonna be a more 3D.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, so I was watching a video he did of a gameplay, and there's definitely some interesting mechanics in it.
Okay. How different
But
is it from the
because
originals?
it's still pretty similar. You know, you have your collectors, and you have to build out your grid to collect energy from the world and all that.
Hmm.
But it's interesting because the fluid mechanics are definitely it just looks a lot different because you can actually look at it from the side as opposed to just top down view.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I'm looking at it right now. That's crazy.
But yeah, no, it looks like it'll still be just about the same experience, just a little more complicated,
That's
a little
awesome.
more polish. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has any idea about like a release date or anything, but
I wanted your opinion on something. Have you seen the concept drawings for the new Pixel phone?
I haven't because I've gotten really really bored how every company wants to quote unquote leak their phone. So I really don't care what phones are going to look like until they announce them.
All right. Well, I mean, it's
Sorry about
it's
the little soapbox there,
no, it's
but
okay.
that's why I haven't seen them.
Well, they didn't leak. They fully announced what it was going to look like. Like they showed pictures, and it I don't like it. Like I want to get this phone. I've
All right,
wanted
well, I'm about to look it up because you haven't sent me any pictures.
I've wanted to for a while. So okay, well the big thing about it and everything is that the back is it has a square camera. It's got this big giant square camera on the back with a whole bunch of lenses smashed into it. I don't
Oh, okay, I have seen that picture. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't like it so much, but I really don't like that
Oh, that's
design.
the only picture they're showing though.
Yeah, it's
That's
just the
that's all
picture.
we have to work on. Oh, well, show me when they have something
You
substantial.
just want to see if there's a notch or not.
That
They knew you were coming.
and and the back. So what? Nobody looks at the back of a phone. It
What do you
makes it distinct. It makes it distinct too, which is what you want. You want to make your phone look different than other companies,
I feel
and
like I
that's gonna stand out.
I feel like I look at the back of the phone more than I look at the front of the phone.
You, what do you use your phone for?
No, like I'll like put it on the table and I'll lay it
That's
upside down.
that's what you stare at, Tim. What you use your phone.
Whenever I use my phone, it's not for a very long time though. I always like have it sit face down when I'm at a table or something because I always feel like that's a little bit more polite.
Oh yeah, no, I do that too,
Yeah.
especially when I'm with people or something. I always put it face down.
Yeah. Plus, when you
But
use your phone, like everyone else around you. By the way, I think this picture that I posted, I think this is a correct drawing of the front. I can't be sure.
doubtful considering the route they took because this doesn't have a notch or a nipple or anything. So
It's got to have a notch to be
it's
futuristic.
it's just speculation. I doubt they would regress like that.
Let me see.
Regression in their opinion. Although I would be totally fine with that. Like that's a phone that actually looks all right.
Yeah,
If it had a headphone jack too, like top notch.
I kind of feel like that too.
Pun intended.
I don't really want the notch anymore. Now that I see what it looks like without it, I'm good.
There was never any reason to move away from it. That's what I don't get. Like I get we need innovation and all that, but that's not innovation.
But like it gives you a little bit more screen.
That's just like That's just because phone technology has become a little more stale recently, so they're like, we got to do something.
What about the extra screen? You get a little
Extra
bit of extra
screen.
screen. Yeah, a little bit of extra screen at the top.
Nobody's complaining about how their phone is too small or they don't have enough screen.
All right. I mean,
I just don't know where they're getting this data from.
I think they just want to make it look a little bit nicer. Well, not nicer. I think they want to say that their screens are bigger, and I think that allows them to say that their screens are a little bit bigger. I think that was the whole
Like, there's
reason.
something to be said. It does look nice. I'm not gonna lie. If they can come out with a fully, like an actual, true bezel-less phone that doesn't sacrifice anything that we already have,
Hmm.
then yeah, that's great. And I mean, I would probably consider buying it if it had a headphone jack. But since we're already sacrificing quality in some area, whether it's the camera or the fingerprint reader or something, I don't see a reason
Mm,
to,
yeah.
to keep going that direction. It just makes no sense to me.
Well, it will if they can hide the cameras. If the what company's doing that? Is that Xiaomi, I think? If Xiaomi can come up with a really good front-facing camera that can hide below the screen, then that would totally be their route to take. Like there'd be no reason not to. But
But at
yeah.
the same time,
Hmm.
something that I kind of miss is good front-facing speakers,
Oh yeah.
because I had those on my Nexus. I had a 6P, I believe,
Hmm.
and then I moved to a LG V30. And the LG V30 only has an earpiece, which it doesn't use for as a speaker for music or something. It just has a bottom-facing one, and it was kind of disappointing because I'd use my phone at work to listen to music for maybe an hour or two a day, and I was kind of disappointed. And I was thinking about just bringing my Nexus with me to work just so I could use it to listen to music because the speakers were just not nearly as good.
I feel you on that one. I've got the Samsung S8, and this only has the bottom-facing speaker, and I never minded it until Emily got her Pixel 3a, and now I really mind it because her front-facing speaker is amazing. Like that's a
Yeah,
really, really good speaker. I had no
and
idea.
but you lose that capability when you get rid of the bezels. I mean,
Interesting.
and even if you have those, what are they, like piezoelectric speakers that can make the screen vibrate?
Hmm.
Even that's not as good for an earpiece as a regular tiny little front-facing speaker.
So your opinion is the companies have been doing it wrong these past couple years, and they just need to start over with how they're trying innovation. Like just like get rid of the notch, get rid of the bottom facing speaker to get rid of the grates and everything. Just leave those for now, and come up with something else if you can. But it's good for now.
Yeah, because it seems like the stuff they're trying to improve upon didn't need to be improved upon.
Yeah.
So it just, yeah. That's literally all there is to it.
What about Samsung's thing of like curving the screen over the edges, like making it bleed over a little bit? Do you have
See,
an
something
opinion on
like
that?
that for me, as long as it doesn't really interfere with you just trying to hold the phone and you don't get misclicks or
Hmm.
mistaps, if you will, that to me isn't all that bad because it looks nice. It helps distinguish your device, and maybe you can do some interesting stuff with it,
You know,
like
I'll,
make unique types of notifications or something.
I'll tell you what though, it is nice to have because they have this really cool feature where if your phone is face down, the edges of the screen light up. So there's this green glow that comes around. It looks like a little green razor blade, like around your phone.
Yeah, and
It's
that sounds like a really cool way to use them,
it,
and it
it
doesn't sacrifice capability or doesn't look odd. It looks better actually.
See, it is cool, except that my hands are too big for this phone, and so I get misclicks constantly with this thing,
Yeah.
and that has been really, really bugging me.
I wonder why they let you tap so close to the edge of the screen then.
I don't know. Like, well, so I don't think that's the real issue. The real issue is apps that weren't meant to be on, well, not meant to be on the phone, but like third-party Android apps that I'm trying to load up. It especially happens with games and like Netflix or something. With apps like that, I'm constantly like I'm grabbing my phone, and every once in a while I'll squeeze a little bit harder than I'm supposed to, and just at the edge of the
Oh
screen
yeah.
it'll go over to something. When I'm on the home screen, like I have it open in front of me right now, the home screen is fine. Like the home screen, I'm not getting any misclicks. They're pretty good about that part of it, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's just that they didn't it doesn't do well with third party apps. It just doesn't go well. It's also not as fun to hold. Like with other phones, I mean, I'm pretty sure yours is like this because you have a Google. What do you have right now, actually?
The LG V30.
Okay, the LG V30. Does the LG V30 have like thick sides? Like, is it nice to just hold in your hand? Is it a good feeling phone?
I've always considered it to be actually a pretty good phone. It's about the size I would want in any phone.
Okay, so the Pixel 3a is the same way. It's got this good like chunky feel to it. Like, I don't feel like I'm gonna drop it. But this one, it's got this nice feature where it's so smooth on the edges, it almost feels like you're holding like a pebble, like you'd be like, skipping into the ocean. But because of that, it's got I don't know, it almost feels like it's going to slip out of your hand. It feels very, very small. It's hard, like it doesn't feel like it's going to break or anything, but it feels very thin and slippery. I don't know. I'm
Yeah. All I know is that the phone I have pretty much no complaints about.
Wow.
And it's a shame though because it has a headphone jack, it has a bit of a chin, it has a bit of a bezel on top, but that's it, and it still looks pretty good.
Hmm.
Like if you lost it a little bit to a notch or something, or sorry, gained a little bit of screen to a notch on the bottom or the top or something,
Uh-huh.
it honestly wouldn't make the phone any better because it already looks great. It's already pretty much a bezel-less phone.
Yeah, I have
And
pictures of it
then
right
it's
now.
just
Looks
it's
good.
just been a solid experience because it was a couple years ago. It was the high end phone. It had waterproofing and wireless charging and NFC and a headphone jack and all that. So it is my ideal phone. I wish they could make a new one,
Hmm.
but that's just better. Just probably a bigger battery is all I'd really want, and like a new processor.
How's the battery life on it?
I don't. It's all right. I've had it for a year and a half now, so it's definitely not as good as it was.
Hmm.
And especially because where I used to work, I had a really bad signal.
Hmm.
So I would often go through like
Roaming.
60-70% battery in a day at work, just
Ouch.
because it was always trying to search for a cell phone signal for a
Yeah,
tower.
I know that pain.
Otherwise, I mean, the battery was pretty good, but now it's older, so it's not as good.
Yeah. I bring all this up because I'm starting to fall out of love with the phone that I have, and I feel like it's ready. Like I'm ready to flip this thing out pretty soon. Well, I'm coming up to the 3 year mark, and so it's been on my mind
Has it
lately.
been that long?
I think
I feel
so.
like you've gotten a new phone more recent than that.
No, it's about 3 years. Pretty sure.
Didn't you lose your phone, or was that your watch?
That was my watch. Yeah.
I thought you lost your phone as well.
I I did lose my phone. So I got this phone because I lost my other phone right before I graduated college. And then right after I graduated, I wanted to get a new phone, and so I ended up grabbing this one right after I graduated. So that's why I know that I graduated about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit over 2 years ago now. So I think I'm coming up on the 3 year mark in a couple months.
Okay, I feel like it was yesterday though. It does
Yesterday,
not feel like it's been a couple years.
I mean, I lose my phone every couple days. Like it could have been a couple days ago. Yeah, it was funny. Like we came up with this mantra about how everything I lose, like I haven't really lost it. It's just on my floor because every big item that I've lost in the last couple of years has just been on my floor. It's just been on parts of my floor that I haven't noticed in my room. So the phone that I lost, I couldn't find for months, like months and months, because I lost it because it fell in a pair of shoes that was in my closet, but it was just on my floor.
Why was your phone in your closet?
Why was it in a pair of shoes? Like I don't.
Well, I can understand it would fall in your shoes if you were holding it in your closet, but why were you holding it in your closet?
I have no idea.
Ha-
The watch, I had like a really nice Galaxy watch. I've since found it, but I lost it behind my entertainment center because it fell on the floor behind my entertainment center. And then this is the biggest one. For the longest time, I could not find this big power drill that my family had bought a while ago. This big, massive power drill. And I couldn't find this thing. So we had to buy a new power drill. And I was really upset about it. And I thought that it had gotten stolen or taken somewhere. Like I didn't know what happened to this thing. It was
yeah,
just under my couch.
under your couch of all
it's
places.
all it's all been on my floor. Like that's the only place these things have been. I just need to check every square inch of my floor or something every time I lose something and I'll find it.
So the best part though is now you know where stuff has been found. So ideally, it's not going to be there again, right? That's going to be the first place you check.
No, that's the worst option. Like that's not ideal. That's like what's the opposite of ideal? Whatever the opposite of ideal is, that's the opposite of ideal. I want it to always be on my floor. That's the one place I want it to always be, because then it's easy to find.
Under your couch, though, how do you get a drill under your
I
couch?
don't know. I don't know how I do these things, Jake. How do you brush your teeth in the morning? Like nobody knows. It just happens. Like you just
Well,
do
I'm
it.
not dropping my toothbrush under my sink and losing it for a couple
I
months.
don't know. I don't know how it got lost for months. Like how did I never look under there? How did that not happen? I just know that months later
Oh,
I
that's
looked and I was
that's
like, oh,
that's so weird.
yeah, I bought a whole new one. We had
Because
Christmas.
I've dropped stuff behind my desk, behind my dresser and such,
Mhm.
but it's never important enough that I wouldn't find it eventually within a couple days, or it's either too big as well to fall behind a desk or something.
Yeah, I'm a special case. I don't know what to tell you. There was like several
That's
people.
funny.
There was several people looking for it too. Like it's not like I happened to lose it in my room and then I just I didn't really look for it and I just wanted something else. No, I looked
Yeah.
high and low for this. My entire family was on the hunt for these items because we needed them, because it was several $100s to replace them. But we spent the several $100s every time. I got a new watch because I couldn't find my old one and it had been lost for months and months. I got a new phone because I couldn't find my other one and it had been lost for months and months. And then we got a new power drill because it was lost for months.
So now you have two of everything
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Now I don't have to worry about it, except the new phone. I'm gonna get a new phone. That's gonna happen.
Oh,
Oh
that's too
man.
good.
All
I'm
right.
trying to think if there's anything I've ever lost, but I, if I have, it's not nearly as good as that.
Yeah, I think
I'm looking around me thinking, no, I've known where that is for a while. I've
mhm.
known where that is for a while.
I the one that I was really heartbroken over was the watch, because the Galaxy watch that I had lost was my favorite smartwatch. And I
Yeah, I
have
remember you liked it a lot.
Yeah, I did. I'll have his younger brother now. So this is the new Galaxy smartwatch that I'm wearing at the moment. And it's just as good. I think it has a better battery life too, but the it just doesn't turn as nicely. Like the mechanical aspect of it just isn't as nice as the other one. So I still have the other one sitting on a little stand over next to my bed. So I put that one on whenever this one's battery gets too low. It's a really nice watch. Okay, so you've seen the show Rick and Morty, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. So Rick and Morty was made by Dan Harmon. He was the original writer and creator. It was him and Justin Roiland's baby. And
Mm-hmm.
Dan Harmon has worked on a whole bunch of stuff, including a show called Community, which was his baby right before this, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened with that, and it ended kind of awkwardly. It was a very awkward end. Did you watch Community?
I watched one or two episodes.
Okay. Well, it was a really good show when Dan Harmon was on it and when he was writing everything, and then it was sold by CBS to Yahoo, who tried to put out they were trying to like build their own Netflix, but it was a really half-baked attempt that ended in
It's
flames.
Yahoo. I would expect anything from them to
Yeah.
be half baked.
Yeah, it just ended in absolute flames and stuff. So they tried to pick up the show and it just ended terribly. And the main character, or one of the main characters in that show, there was a cast of like 6 people that it was following. It was like a big study group. One of them was Troy Baker, played by and I'm forgetting his name now. What is his name? Uh, this will become important in just one second. What is his name? His name is Donald Glover. There we go. So you've probably seen Donald Glover before because he just started a rap career a while ago as Childish Gambino. Do you recognize that name?
Donald Glover. Yeah.
Okay, so you know that name and everything. You're familiar with it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Really fantastic guy. I've been following him for a while. I love pretty much everything he does. Like he's fantastic in my mind. Except I wasn't a huge fan of his stand-up. I didn't think that was the greatest. Anyways, he came up with the name Childish Gambino because he was using an auto rap name generator, which I just thought was ridiculous. Which is why
Okay.
this is why
that makes sense now.
I shanghaied you into creating your own rap name through a rap name generator.
Which weren't even that good.
You know what? It was good enough for Childish Gambino, so I thought it'd be good enough for us.
No, it's If I had known what the intended result was,
Uh-huh.
then I would have given different answers as opposed to like, what's your favorite pet as a kid or something.
I thought it was
Like
more fun this way.
it genuinely seemed like you wanted to get into one of my accounts with security questions.
That's kind of how I wanted you to think about it. I wanted you to give like shy answers that were like adjacent to the truth, but probably not the truth. That's kind of what I was going for it, and I thought it'd be better that way. Anyways, I'm sorry it was so roundabout getting to this and everything. But Jake, what are your favorite rap names? There's a list of like 50 of them here, so I don't want you to name them all, obviously.
Ooh, I'm about to pull it up again.
Yeah, I sent Jacob a big Word doc on all of the names. Just randomly. I asked him like 8 questions on like, hey, what's like your favorite name for a pet? Who's like the most evil person in the world? It was all these questions. And then I generated the names, then I just sent them in an email with no context whatsoever.
Okay, so I have it here now.
Okay. Is there anything good on there?
We have Rick Sick.
Okay.
Cook Look. Cool Man. Rapper Rick. Sunny Cook. Wait, what is this? Abs Cool?
What?
ABS-cool. Like abs cool.
I have no idea what you would have put for that. Maybe it was like things you like or something. I don't know.
Here's my last name with a $sign.
I think I have that one too.
Inspecta Cool. Tots Cook.
I think it's pronounced Totes. Totes Cook.
No, it's Tots. There's no E. It's Tots Cool Cook.
All right. I like to believe it's Totes.
See, if I had known, I would have given you like Lil as an option or something. Like that way, it could have been like Lil Cook or something.
What's your favorite in this list?
I would say Rick Sick at the very top.
Oh, I've got abs in here too. Rick Sick?
Yeah, I'd say Rick and then Sick with without a K. So it sounds like Rick and then they misspelled the name, but that's how they said it.
Okay.
Because you've seen that in articles, right? Where they do the little in the brackets, the Sick.
Yeah.
Meaning that's how they spelt it. That's not an error or a typo.
Mm-hmm.
So it is. I find that kind of amusing. It gives me that impression. Like Rick, it's correct, spelled correctly, but it's actually not.
Oh man. Well, I'm sorry you got such terrible ones. I feel like I got some pretty good ones here.
Well, I had no idea what you're talking about or what it was for, so I'm just giving you the most basic generic answers.
That's not important. That wasn't important at all. You don't need to know what it's for. I think
it was, though.
What? No. Not at all.
All right. Well, then what you need to do later is you need to use the words childish and Gambino.
Okay.
And see if you can come up with any good rapper names using those.
See if I can get it again. I've got some pretty good ones here. I really like mine. Actually, I've got quite a few that I'm a fan of. Okay.
You haven't told me any of them. I have no idea what any of them are.
I'm working on it. I'm getting there. So my first one is Timourmous B, which I'm not like a huge fan of, but I think it's still in the running. Right after
that's decent.
Yeah, Big Max, Americana Face Tim, Timma B, which is great. Like that's a good one. Old Black. Let's see. Totes Americana, Grim Tim, Black Hack, Totes Ted, Black Track, and yeah, I think those are all the ones that I like. I think that's a pretty good haul.
Yeah, you actually had some good ones in there.
I don't know which one I'm going to go with though. Like, which one am I going to keep? Which one is going to be the name of this podcast? That's the reason I did this. Coolio Black.
You're going to do some weird.
Tim. Americana Man or American Man? Nah. There we go. Timourmous B, Big Mac. What do you think? Let me name them again. You tell me which one's the best. Timourmous B, Big Max, Americana Face Tim, Timma B, Old Black, Totes Americana, Grim Tim, Black Hack, Totes Ted, and Black Track.
You said what was it? Timma B? Timma B?
Yeah.
That one and the very first one.
Timourmous B?
My favorite. Timourmous B, yeah.
All right. If it's a tie between those, I like Timourmous B. I think I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right. Rick Sick and Timourmous B. So
Rick
that's
Sick and Timourmous B.
I love it. Oh, I love it. Perfect.
This
All
is
right.
actually our last podcast. We're just going to only be releasing mixtapes from now on.
That's gonna be the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah, tune in next week to hear our mixtape.
I love it. I think those are great. Rick Sick and Timourmous B. All right. This podcast brought to you by Rick Sick and Timourmous B. Perfect. And Sick spelled SIC, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. All right. That was just an agenda. That wasn't even a topic. That was just like I need to get this out of the way so I know what to name this podcast.
I'm glad we finally got that settled, though, as
Thank
to
you.
what that was all about. Because it's been like 2 weeks and I have had no idea.
It's just been looming over your head. Like, what is that stupid thing? Why do you make me do that? What is this dumb thing to the top of this list?
Is he off as a rocker or not?
All right. So E3 happened. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about Amazon Fire Sticks.
Yeah, that was going to be my question to you.
Yeah, just really quickly. They're way better than I thought they would be, Jacob. They are way better than they have any business being. Oh my goodness. I was just blown out of the water with these. So have you ever used like a Chromecast or something like that?
I haven't, no.
No? Okay, so there's a big difference between them. So a Chromecast essentially turns your phone into your entertainment center. So you bring it up on your TV, you just have the Chromecast plugged in, and your remote is fine, you can control the volume, you can turn the TV on and off. But your phone turns into the entire power system. So you use that to launch Netflix, you use that to launch YouTube and queue up videos and such, you use it to launch Spotify. Like the phone is the entire thing. And the Chromecast just kind of, acts as an in-between for all of that stuff. So I believe the Chromecast contacts the Netflix servers on your phone's behalf. So it's not streaming things from your phone. It's streaming things from Netflix, but it just kind of uses it as an in-between. The Fire Stick. So what's up?
No, I'm just trying to think. That doesn't sound accurate to me.
I mean, I own several of them.
I don't know enough. So,
so what they do is you'll be on your phone. Well, you'll bring it up on the TV. So you'll turn on your TV.
I understand how it works. I just don't think that the Chromecast is the one actually downloading like whatever you're watching on Netflix. I think your phone is still doing that.
Well, let me tell you how it works then. So you bring it up on your phone. You have the Chromecast just on there, and you're on your phone watching a YouTube video, and then you tap the little AirPlay button to use a Chromecast with it, and then your phone. Then the Chromecast starts doing like a loading screen for YouTube or Netflix or whatever you're watching, and then once it seems to have buffered, then it'll start playing that video, even if you're already watching on your phone. So I don't think it's streaming it from your phone. It could be, but I really don't think it is.
Okay. I can't say either way because I've never used one. So
actually, you know what?
Take your word for it.
I have a better piece of evidence for that, because your phone can die, or you can just turn it off, but the Netflix will keep playing. Like it acts independently of your phone once your phone has told it what to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Anyway, so that's how that works. Fire Stick, I thought was the same thing, but it's
more of like its own smart TV that you can make. You make a dumb TV a smart TV.
Yeah, and it really did that well. Like I was really amazed by it. So I bought this thing because my sister's visiting soon, and I wanted to make sure that my room was totally set up for her to come and have a nice stay and everything. So I didn't want my TV to just be this dumb little thing on the wall that's not doing anything. I wanted her to watch TV if she if she wanted to relax and cool off at the end of the night. So I went and got one of these things, and I plugged it in. And the first thing I was worried about was the remote, because traditionally I haven't had a remote for my TV. I'll just go up to it and manually turn the volume up and down. It'll manually change the inputs. So I was worried about that. So I bought a dumb remote to go along with it. So I have a little AR remote. It's just sitting, not AR, IR. Yeah, it's an IR remote. And it's just sitting in my room right now. So I plug in the Fire Stick, and immediately it knows what my TV is and begins working as the remote for the TV. I can turn it off and on. I can change the volume. I can do all of that stuff with the little remote that comes with the Fire Stick. No programming whatsoever. And I'm still not sure whether or not it's somehow able to do that by controlling it through the HDMI port, or if it comes with IR. In fact, I'm going to figure that out right now. One sec. IR through, what is it called? Fire Stick.
Well, the Fire Stick isn't necessarily visible, right?
No.
So how would it be doing it through IR?
Now comes the remote that can control your TV. IR compatible? Oh, maybe it does. Maybe it's just
So
really
so
good at it.
wait. What you're saying the remote can change the volume on the TV?
Yeah, immediately. There was no programming whatsoever. It just works as a universal
Oh yeah,
remote.
yeah. It probably does control the TV itself through IR. The remote. I thought you were saying the wondering if the Fire Stick itself that plugged into the TV was controlling the volume.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure which one it did. I wasn't sure if they figured out a way to do it through HDMI ports or something. I had no idea. I'm seeing a little bit. I'm pretty sure it does. It's doing it through IR.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah. But anyways, this thing worked amazingly right out of the box. So I plug this thing in and I get it all going, and immediately it boots up, and it is just the absolute perfect streaming box that I've ever used. My dad has another one. He has he's got the Fire Cube, which is like, so the one I got, the Fire Stick, is like $40. The Fire Cube is like 130. And it
Hmm.
comes with like Alexa built in, so you can like just start talking to Alexa no matter where you are. But so far, that is the only difference I have seen between the stick and the box. So that extra $100 you're spending seems to only be so that you can use Amazon Alexa, because this little thing, this little stick, can play basic 3D games and comes with a quad core processor. It is the coolest little thing I have ever seen. I could not believe how amazing this thing was. It is just, it blows every other streaming box I've ever worked with out of the water, for the price at least.
How have you used a recent Chromecast? Because I know they've come out with a couple generations of them now.
Yeah, I own not the most recent one. You know what? No, I think I own the most recent one, just not the 4K version. Maybe I do own the 4K
Okay.
version. Something like that. But yeah, they all work the same way though. There's nothing built into the Chromecast itself. There's no remotes that come with it. There's no remotes you can program to it. It's all through your cell phone.
Yeah. So they are still kind of satisfy a different need.
They do, but I'm just kind of amazed that they don't try to compete explicitly with these things, because they can. Like, they could easily make their own streaming box. All of the Android streaming boxes used Android. Like, it wouldn't be difficult for them to do. I don't know. I don't see it. The only other one that I really like would be the Nvidia Shields. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, but from everything I've heard, that one sounds incredible. But
It sounds good, but it's also pretty pricey too.
oh yeah. But for $40, I cannot imagine getting anything else other than this little stick. It
Oh yeah,
works.
no. Amazon when they do electronics, they do them like for the price range. They're really good.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful. Except apparently for the except for their Fire, like the Kindle Fire tablets. I've heard terrible things about those.
Well, the Fire tablets, they're so cheap that you're not worried. They're more of a they're good for kids because you're so that way you're not worried about if they break or something.
See,
They're not an iPad Pro or something.
oh yeah, I've here's the thing though. I've gotten them for kids, and the kids hated them because they couldn't run anything, and they just, it wasn't that they were breaking. I think the processor was so incredibly slow that it just kept pooping out. Like, it just couldn't keep up with anything that they were giving it. So I think it was good if they like wanted to watch a YouTube video at a low resolution. Like, that's the only thing it could have been good for.
I wonder. I've never looked into it really, but I wonder how easy it would be to, um, not jailbreak. That's for iPhones. What's the other word? To like flash a custom ROM onto it.
I think jailbreak works fine. I know what you're talking about.
No, but jailbreak isn't for Android.
I don't.
Like unlock the yeah. It doesn't.
Unlock.
I'm a little annoyed. I can't think of the actual term, but yeah, just basically flash a custom.
Wait,
A
wait, hold
custom
on.
operating system
I
onto
want
it.
you to Google this. I want to know what this term. I've never heard this term. I've never heard anything except jailbreak. The term
I've only ever considered jailbreak to be more related to iPhones.
for jailbreaking on Android. Sorry, term rooting. Is that it?
Rooting. That's the word. Yeah.
Rooting is a process that allows you to attain root access to the Android operating system code. Yeah, the equivalent term for Apple devices is jailbreaking. That's interesting. Why would they have different terms? That's the same thing, right?
Because rooting is a reference to the actual Linux operating system. Because root is basically the administrator on a Windows machine.
Oh, okay.
So they have access to everything. If you have, so that's if you have maybe that's actually there's something like a rootkit, which is malicious code that wants to try and get root access because root access can do anything to the computer.
Oh, okay.
So that's basically what rooting a phone is. Then you're getting full access to the phone instead of just basic.
Okay, and then Apple
functionality.
uses jailbreaking because they're so militant with their hardware. Is that
Yeah,
the idea?
basically.
Okay.
They're like you're breaking out of your cell.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, I wonder if you could do that on Amazon devices.
Oh, I'm sure you can. Although I will say I did try it a while ago and I bricked my Kindle. So
Well, yes, but I'm talking about the phones and the tablets, which probably would have a little more support.
yeah, very possibly. What, you have a project in mind for an Amazon Fire Cat tablet?
No, I'm just wondering.
I have a project that I've been knocking around for a little while that I really want to do. I found out that it's not very expensive to change the dashboard in my car to have a touchscreen with Android Auto. And so I've been,
Really?
yeah, it's not that bad. Like they sell whole kits for it. You can just type in, because I have a 2012 Honda Civic, so you can just type in 2012 Honda Civic, Android Auto dash, and you'll get like you can get like a $200 kit to just flip it out, because you just have to remove the console and plug everything
Yeah,
back in.
but for someone like me, I definitely wouldn't want that because I wouldn't use it or need it.
It's cool though.
It's cool, but for me, it's just not practical.
That's
There
fair.
would be a waste of money.
Yeah, I tend to I'm terrible in cars. Like I'm always looking for directions and I'm always messing with the music. And so it's a bit of a hazard for me to have it all on my phone, because then I'm either looking down or I'm looking at like a screen that's vibrating, which means I have to focus on it for even longer than normal. Because like whatever stand I get for it is always kind of jittery whenever I stick it in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would serve a purpose, but also my car's really old and it'll look ridiculous. Like 2012 with this like pristine, beautiful
Like
like
it's
touchscreen
Tesla-esque touchscreen
in this old little jalopy. Oh man. So yeah, I've been. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, Kindle, not Kindle,
Amazon Fire Stick.
Amazon Fire Stick. Yeah, it's amazing. I can download games on it. I can have them stored locally. Um, it just it works beautifully. Oh, and it comes with full voice commands, which work beautifully, by the way. I'm really amazed by them. It's got a
I'm surprised.
cool.
I'm surprised they have the voice commands on the $40 version.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was like a $50 or $60 version that got priced down when I bought it.
Oh, okay,
It
that
had
makes
like a red
sense.
tag when I bought it at Best Buy. Um, but yeah.
Oh, you bought it at Best Buy.
hmm is that weird?
I I mean, Amazon's an online store. I just find that
Oh,
funny that they would be selling it in a place like Best Buy.
I think Best Buy owns the market for like TVs sold. I think most people think of TVs when they think of Best Buy. That's my feeling at least. Like, because I don't know what
Yeah,
else.
Best Buy or Fry's probably.
Yeah, like what else do you buy at Best Buy? Like a printer? Like that's and what CDs? Like nobody buys CDs anymore.
I've gone there before looking for, electronic parts and such. Stuff that I needed within a day. But other than that, yeah,
Yeah,
I would just buy everything else online.
I think I've bought in the past like phone cases and USB cables. That's like all I trust them with.
Ooh.
What?
Oh man, that's like the worst though.
You don't trust them with
I mean,
USB
it's
cables?
good if you want to get good certified cables, but if you're looking for cheap, that's definitely not the place to go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not.
For something that doesn't deal with power like a USB cable, maybe something like an HDMI cable, I would absolutely never shop at Best Buy.
See, I can't buy cheap cables anymore because I'm always looking for the if my phone doesn't get charged within 20 or 30 minutes, I get really, really bugged by it. And so I just,
No, that's understandable.
Mhm,
But there was actually a guy who worked at Google, and he was going through and testing cables
mhm.
to make sure they were actually up to code and that they were capable of charging at the rates they were claiming, and making sure they were basically just certified for the level they were claiming.
Did it work?
And so there was actually, well, was it cables or chargers? I think it was both. I think he did mostly cables though.
Yeah, probably.
But so you basically, if you're looking for USB cables, you want to look for his reviews, because he'll tell you, yeah, this is actually a decent cable, or this is actually garbage cable and you shouldn't use it because it might actually blow up your phone or something.
Okay, so I found it. So the Amazon Fire Stick with the voice control is $40. What I got, and now I'm remembering this, what I got was the 4K version of the Amazon Fire Stick, which is usually $99, but was marked down to 40.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know what? No, that's not true. I'm sorry. I'm looking at a 2-pack. They sell them in 2-packs? Wow. Good Lord.
What, a 2-pack? What?
Yeah,
That seems like the weirdest thing to put together.
Amazon, yeah, they want those speakers, or I'm sorry, they want those microphones in your house. They're gonna sell it for a lot. Yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Amazon Fire Stick 4K is $50, so it's $10 more, and I got it for $10 off, so I paid $40 for it.
Okay.
That's how it should
Seems
go.
pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, you ready?
I don't want to spend too much time on this.
But there's so much to talk about. There wasn't anything
I
to talk
have a
about.
list of 6 games here.
I know, it was really bad. You
No,
want to talk?
that's fine. That's fine because
You think
last time
so?
we tried to go over a lot.
Well, last time there was a lot to cover. Last time there was, I mean, okay, so we tried to do too much, but there was actually a good amount to talk about last time, and I felt bad that we couldn't touch it all. This time, I don't want to talk about anything that they had. I don't want to
Which
talk
is fine
about FIFA
because if we're going to
20.
talk about E3, I want to talk about the stuff that interests me. And I don't want it to be like, oh, well, there's this game that looked okay. No, this is games that I would actually spend money on, and that's it.
Okay. All right.
Everything else is basically just dead to me.
All right, Jacob, what did they show that you would actually spend money on?
Let's see. Call of Duty. Yeah, that's it.
What about well, they showed Cyberpunk too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they showed that
in
last year,
reality, they showed Cyberpunk 2077. They had Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition gameplay.
Mhm.
They had Doom Eternal.
Mm.
They had My Friend Pedro
That was pretty good.
and Dying Light 2 and Carry On.
Carry On was good.
Carry On isn't my style of game, but it looked like it might be able to hold me for long enough that I might actually enjoy it.
I could see that. Yeah, it takes a certain kind, like 2D gamers are interesting. Like 2D platform gamers, they're their own breed. And I say that because every time that you and me try to introduce Carver to a game like that, or to I'm sorry, whenever I try to introduce Carver to like a first person shooter or a driving game, he will not get into it. Like he just can't. He just doesn't like them. He fundamentally
Yeah,
does not like FPSs, which I find crazy. But he just hates them. He just can't play them or anything. But a 2D platformer with like 8-bit graphics, oh my goodness, he goes nuts for. Like he goes absolutely nuts for it and he will play it till he dies.
which is weird because that's almost the polar opposite of me. I have
Yeah.
such a hard time getting into 2D games or platformers.
Hmm.
It's just for some reason it doesn't click in my brain. And unfortunately, that's one of the problems why retro games I'm just not able to. I don't have the motivation to ever really want to play them because they're not my style of game, and I probably won't have as much fun as I want to.
Hmm. Yeah.
But but at the same time, a game like My Friend Pedro is kind of a 2D game, but it's more 3D as well.
Yeah. So
It has 3D models and everything, so I'd be more fine with playing that.
So my friend Pedro, that was like the 2D side scroller where you have like this ragdoll physics with machine guns. That was it, right?
Yeah.
That one looks really
It's a
cool.
side view.
It looks endearing. Everything from the Devolver show, because that was one of the Devolver show games that they showed. They've
Yeah.
all got such personality to them. Like that's my favorite thing about that show. You never know what you're gonna get, and it's always like really just lighthearted and ridiculous. I love that about it.
Yeah. They don't take themselves too seriously. They look like fun games.
Yeah.
But yeah, something. So Carry On and My Friend Pedro aren't necessarily up my alley, but they look like they're interesting enough that I want to play them. Age of Empires 2, of course, I'm gonna buy that day one. Doom Eternal, I'll probably buy day one as well because that looks like it's just gonna be more of the same but better.
What
So I'm pretty excited for that.
What about the Marvel Avengers game that they announced?
That looked kind of boring.
So from what I understand, that game was kind of the belly flop of E3.
Really?
From like the professional game reviewers that were talking about seeing that game, they said all they saw from that game was exactly what they saw last E3. They had nothing new to
Oh,
show.
okay. So they it's not like they showed anything that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, and it was like well, I think they had a new trailer, but they said it was just all incredibly mediocre, and the game comes out in like I think 6 months or something, and they're just nervous
How,
because they're like, man, if these people, if this is all they have, like they're in trouble.
did they show gameplay?
Possibly. I don't think so. I've got a trailer in
Let's
front
see.
of me. Nah, I think it was just a promo video.
Gameplay. Gameplay interview. Gameplay showcase.
They have anything?
It looks like they might have a little bit.
Gameplay leaked E3 2019. Oh, like okay, so I think so what I'm seeing here is they have gameplay, but it's it's like a really bad video because they snuck video in to a private screening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole gameplay interview I'm looking at
Mhm.
is exactly what it sounds like. There's not actually gameplay.
Yeah. I've got a video here. I'll send it over to you just so you can see what I'm talking about. It's not a good video. I don't recommend you watch the whole thing, but they someone snuck a video into like one of those private screenings of the demos that they do. And I
Yeah.
believe usually the reason they do those private demos is because they don't look very good. And they want the reviewers who know everybody in the company really well to see them so that they can kind of give their opinion, but but not have everyone else see it. Yeah, I mean it could they might have something there. I don't know.
I mean, it's certainly not like they don't have something there, but I don't think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Something about it just hasn't clicked with my brain yet.
I
It
really
just looks like it's gonna be boring for me for some reason,
yeah, it
which is
does
a
seem like
shame because Anthem was a piece of garbage, and we all knew that it was gonna be. And I even played it, and it was still it was something I wanted. I wanted to play like Iron Man,
mhm.
and it came close to that itch. Especially, enjoyed playing as kind of the fast melee ninja type of guy, and I really enjoyed that. And I'd love to have a game like that with Iron Man, even.
Mhm.
But I don't know if we're gonna get it.
I don't think so. It is too bad because I felt like Marvel might have been taking the Warner Brothers route of like really going hard into these games. Because Warner Brother, they released the Lord of the Rings games. I forgot what they're Shadow of Mordor, and then the Batman games, and both of those were phenomenal. Like they were incredible projects. And I was really hoping that Marvel would take a similar route because Marvel just released the Spider-Man game, and I think you remember I was raving about that like crazy about 6 months ago or so.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was a solid, amazing game. So I hope beyond hope that this game is good, but I have your exact feeling of just it looks kind of boring,
Yeah,
which is too
it's
bad.
funny that everyone says that Shadow of Mordor is such a good game,
Hmm.
but I bought it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be so much fun because people say such good things about it. I played it, and I got a couple hours into it before I realized
It's the
I'm not
same
having
thing.
fun. I'm actually really, really bored.
Yeah, it was definitely flawed. The flaw kind of just came out of there was nothing engaging about the game. Like it was all they had all the pieces there, but they didn't have a I don't know, they didn't tie a pretty bow on top. There was no really good story to kind of really sink your teeth into, characters that you cared about, and enjoyable side quests to kind of do. But the
Yeah, and the game and the core combat, it just never really felt well fleshed out.
yeah, it was still. I mean, I'm sure you can agree that like graphically, it was very impressive for the time because it came. When did you play it? Did you play it?
A couple years ago.
Okay, I know it came out quite a while ago. When did Shadow of Mordor come out?
No, it definitely did a lot of things right, and
Yeah.
it's not like there wasn't a lot of good things about it. But from an actual gameplay perspective, it
Hmm.
just did not register with me at all. It
I
just
could
did
see that.
not click.
I think it also might have just. I mean, it was another sword game again, which we've talked about before. Not
Yeah, but
necessarily your thing.
a game like The Witcher, I really enjoyed.
Oh, that is true. I forgot you liked Witcher.
So
Yeah, I know that the story aspect of that game was definitely my least favorite part. I did enjoy the combat in the game, like a bit. I didn't love the combat. It was more the movement throughout the world that I really enjoyed. Did you remember the Nemesis system too? Do you know how that works?
yeah, I remember because everyone was all so excited about that, and it was so revolutionary and groundbreaking. Which is,
I
and
really like.
I'm not making fun of it in the sense that, oh no, it was dumb, don't do that again.
Mhm.
But it was more so that people touted it as groundbreaking or something.
Yeah, it was probably a little bit overhyped. However, for that one time, I did I did really love like sorry, can you hear that in the background? Sorry, I've got like
I think so.
okay, I'm just gonna wait until they stop for a sec.
Oh yeah, your
My dad is
dogs
making a smoothie, and Benji he hates
just hates it.
he hates loud
Yeah,
noises. It's all loud noises. So
that's
whenever
funny.
oh yeah, he just well
It's funny because I can't hear the him making the smoothie, but I can hear the dog.
yeah, Benji. I think he feels like he has to be louder than the smoothie maker so that he isn't like the smallest thing in the room. Maybe it's that he's scared of it.
Oh, he's probably definitely scared of it.
Yeah, because I think I've seen him bark
That's I
at
mean that's why
fireworks.
I would assume a dog would bark at something.
Yeah, I think he barked at fireworks last year too. Yeah, sorry. Just wait a few more minutes. How's it going, Jake? You all
Oh,
right?
not too bad.
Yeah,
I have a article here. Can't wait to read afterwards.
yeah.
about the way they're developing the movements for Project Borealis,
Is I
the
am
Half-Life game.
Oh, nice. Is I Am Bread out yet?
Hasn't it been out for a couple years?
Oh, yeah, it has. Sorry. I didn't know. I just saw a thing for it again, and now I want to play I Am Bread again. Or for the
I
first
never
time.
actually played it.
It looked interesting.
It looked like a game like Goat Simulator, where you play it for 30 minutes and then never come back to it.
Yeah, that's about right.
Except for maybe if you're drunk one night
That's
and you just accidentally click on it.
that's most Steam games for me.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. So yeah, no, I loved the idea. Oh, is he still using it? I can't tell. Ah, he's
I
still
hear the
using it.
dog still.
He does this weird thing on the blender. So there's this setting on it to pulse, and so the blender turns itself on for 5 seconds and then turns itself
Yeah, and
off.
then off and
It's the
on.
most obnoxious thing in the world. And he does it, and then he'll look at it and be like, "Oh, this isn't the right texture," and then he'll do it again 5 minutes later. So you have no idea when it's going to end. So it just goes on and on.
I find that weird to believe you.
What?
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know. He has a system. He's an old man and he's stuck in his ways. And so he likes to make smoothies by adding all the ingredients and then turning it on. But he doesn't seem to remember that it's always too thick. So you have to add milk or water or something. And so every single time he stops it and looks and goes, "Oh, it's too thick," and then adds it. And I go, "Dad, how about next time you just add that beforehand?" But he's like, "Nah, whatever."
I understand where he's coming from, because you don't want it to be too thick. It's easier to do it little by little and then check every time. But eventually, you should get a feel for it.
Yep. No, he's made these for years now.
Oh, well.
Okay. He stopped again. I'm hoping it's gone for good. I'm going to.
We're good for 5 minutes. We got to hurry up.
Oh, okay. All right. I can still hear him in the background though. All right, I'll say this really quickly. No, I really loved it because there was a good portion of that game where I was killing all of like the big evil bad guys, and then they would kill me once or twice or something, and then when I'd come back to see them, their face would be all bandaged and stuff. And I loved that particular part of the game. That was my favorite part of the Nemesis system. Like I didn't care about like, there was like ranks and stuff going on in the background and like this person killed this one and like there's a whole history happening and stuff. Like that part was garbage to me. The part I really loved was that I could hit a guy in a face and then
you could come back and check how he's doing later.
Well, yeah, because he would comment on it too. Like the characters will come up to you and be like, "Hey, I remember you're the one that did this to my face. I hate you." And then they would attack you more aggressively, and they would become like more interesting characters as you did that. And if they end up killing you as a result of the whole thing, then they go up in rank because they killed like the fabled evil man that's been terrorizing Mordor. So they had this like really cool system happening in the background. That was my absolute favorite part of it. That was the only reason I played that game. Like once that was done, I didn't care anymore. Like I don't remember the ending.
Yeah, and it sounds great just talking about it, but then the gameplay just fell so flat for me. It wasn't enough. It didn't redeem it enough to actually want to keep playing.
I got that, but I don't know. I gotta get you a game where you enjoy the combos in it. Because that game was a lot of combos. It had like a fighting game heart to it. Yeah, it was very much a fighting game at heart. And yeah, I don't think they executed it perfectly, but there was a lot there to appreciate, especially how graphically beautiful it was. I mean, same thing with the Batman games. I didn't enjoy any of the Batman games just because I don't really like the martial art hand-to-hand combat stuff that they do. So I never really got into any or finished any, but it was beautiful. Like the Batman games I think are still some of the most beautiful games I've ever played.
Yeah, I own 2 or 3 of the first ones, so I can play them anytime I want. And I remember buying them wanting to, but now I just look at them and think, yeah, I don't really want to play a fighting game.
It's got some cool gadget stuff that might appeal to you, especially the third one. I thought the third one was executed the best. I got halfway through that one before something happened. I don't remember why I didn't finish it, but that game had the most like gadget stuff and the most technology and everything to play around with, which made it a lot more fun. Like the Batmobile in it was the best part of the game. Like I fought people as little as physically possible because I just wanted to get inside that Batmobile again and ride over ramps on building tops. Like that was just the best part of the game. It was so good.
You just wanted to run everyone over?
Yeah, it was incredible. So if you ever get a chance to, that was really good. You'll enjoy that little aspect of the game, if not anything else. Like that Batmobile was awesome. But yeah. All right, what else did you?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, Call of Duty. Yeah, you mentioned Call of Duty. I wanted to talk
Oh,
about that for a
I
sec.
was joking about that one.
Oh, were you? Oh, okay, never mind. I don't know what they're doing
Yeah,
different
sorry.
with it. Yeah, I that's why I wanted to ask about it. Never mind then. What's my list? You know what's at the top of my list that I never mentioned before? Not at the top,
What's that?
but well, there's a couple games at the top. Rainbow Six Quarantine. Did you see anything
Wait,
about
what?
this?
Oh, I
Yeah.
never watched the Ubisoft one, so
So, all right. So
I don't know what that's about.
Rainbow Six is obviously the FPS game that I've been obsessed with for a while. And for a little while during the game cycle, I think it was last year, they announced a special mode on it called Quarantine, where they basically they gave you a new map and they let you loosen it with like a couple of your friends, and then they put zombies all around the map, and so you got to go and like shoot them in the head and stuff. So it was this little game mode. There wasn't anything super special about it, and people didn't think much of it. Well, it turns out that was a teaser for a larger project they're working on. So they're building on top of Rainbow Six Siege a campaign mode called Rainbow Six Quarantine about zombies. So it's a whole standalone game that they're doing, like with Rainbow Six Siege everything having to do with zombies.
So, something a game I saw reference to it is Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov.
Okay. Have you played Escape from Tarkov?
I haven't, but it looked like a game that might be kind of fun.
Oh, we could try
But
later.
it says Rainbow Six Quarantine may feature Tarkov style permadeath mechanics.
Yes. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
It's so weird hearing that, knowing it's a highly competitive game.
Well, I mean, if you think about the highly competitive mode, it is permadeath technically. Like, I mean, it's permadeath in the sense that like CS:GO is permadeath. Um, so I don't.
No, I get
Yeah.
that and all, but it's just not a game mode that's gonna be popular or played a lot. I feel there's not gonna be a ranked for it. So I find it weird that they're building it on top of a game that already has a solid ranked and casual system.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious about how they'll execute it, because what they could do is they could create their own version of Battle Royale where instead of, a PvP thing, it would be a PvE where you're fighting hordes and the last man standing in the horde is the winner. They could be doing something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to watch this teaser that they announced.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
like everything else at E3 this year, it was just a teaser or just a cinematic, no gameplay.
Yeah, it's fair. But hey,
I
there were
understand though that they're coming up on the end of the life cycle for these consoles.
yeah, I think
But
it's
seriously, just show me some gameplay. Nintendo did it, even though I was uninterested in just about everything they had to show.
well, that's because you
They
haven't
they
played
still
those.
showed gameplay.
You gotta play some of those Nintendo games, man. I can't wait to get you on like a Mario Party or a Super Mario Brothers one of these days.
My sister got a Switch,
Did she?
and I asked her. Yeah,
Really?
some friend bought it for her apparently.
Oh, friend. All
And
right.
yeah, I don't have friends like that, right? What's up with that, Tim? Come on. And I asked her, hey, can I play Breath of the Wild on it? And I said, Tim's been bugging me to play it. He really wants me to play it. And even then, she said, no.
Yeah, that's about right. That's your family.
So, yeah, that sounds like it.
Yeah, there's a couple IP on there. Like the big IP, there's a reason they're the big IPs on there. The Super Mario Brothers on there, or I mean the Super Mario game that they release every year. Well, every like 4 or 5 years actually. But the new one, Super Mario Odyssey, was an incredible platformer. And I know every once in a while you get into 3D platformers. This is the granddaddy of 3D platformers. This is the one that everyone waits for years to see who enjoys 3D platformers. So I really would love you to try that one. Like really sink your teeth into it for a couple hours. And Breath of the Wild is the same thing. Like as far as open world games go, this is like, well, it's not the granddaddy, but it's one of them. Like it's the creme de la creme of all that stuff. I love it. Okay,
One day.
one day. All right, I want to say my games really quick before we end this thing.
All right.
I don't remember what they are though. Okay, so it's Rainbow Six Quarantine, Elden Ring, which was the one that's coming out of From Software, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
That's
of
the one with
course.
like, yeah, it's like Neil Gaiman and George R. R. Martin working on it, which I'm really excited about.
It'll be all right, I'm
By the
sure.
by the way, Neil Gaiman, you haven't seen American Gods yet, right? We gotta
I
watch.
haven't, no.
All right, we gotta watch that later. Let's see. I'm looking through here. Oh yeah, Outer Worlds. Which okay, so
That was
when
the one by Obsidian, right?
yeah, so when they showed it on the E3 floor, it was I think I think just live it had a very, very bad resolution because it looks much better when you watch it online. I don't know if you've seen the video
But it
for
is
it.
still it still looks like it has Elder Scrolls facial animations. It still looks like a Fallout game.
Yeah,
It has that kind of clunky feel to it.
it's not exactly what you'd want, although what I do appreciate and what I've been looking for a long time is a really, really good space exploration mechanic. And the way that I've seen this described is it's like what No Man's Sky was trying to achieve. So I don't know if this is going to be good or not, but I am interested and I'll probably play it later. And I'll probably try to convince you to play it at some point in the future too. Let's see. Baldur's Gate I didn't like. Doom Eternal, I guess. I've never been like a huge Doom fan. I've never actually finished one. Um, and then obviously, what's it called? Fall Guys. Oh my goodness, Fall Guys looked
Oh yeah,
incredible.
Fall Guys. I will definitely buy that one.
Yeah,
That's the one I forgot.
I was upset that you didn't mention that when you were talking about your games. So
It's not on my. I don't think it's on Steam, so I didn't have it on my wish list.
yeah, so Fall Guys, the Battle Royale Mario Party game, which just sounds so cool.
Oh,
That
it is on
sounds
my wish list.
yeah.
I just missed it. Oh
Oh man,
man.
that sounds amazing. You never played Mario Party, right?
No, I think I have.
Have
I've
you?
played a couple party games from Nintendo.
Okay. Mario Party was an interesting one just because it I don't know, it wasn't ever like particularly good, but the mini games in it were really, really fun. And people really enjoyed those mini games. I don't know. I think I first found my love for mini games inside of Mario Party, and I've always wanted something with more. So I'm really excited for Fall Guys just because it sounds incredible. Like just a whole bunch of really stupid little games to play with people for 5 minutes. Sounds awesome.
This is a battle royale though. This is a 30-minute commitment.
I'm willing to play mini games for 30 minutes. That sounds awesome. Sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm definitely curious to know what kind of mini games they're gonna have in it.
yeah. They
It's gonna be
showed
a blast. I'll bet.
last one was they showed the Final Fantasy VII remake,
Oh yeah,
which
that's right.
yeah, it's kind of just a fan game. I can't really I've got to wait till it comes out to actually recommend it to you. It's a Square Enix one, and now whenever I hear the words Square Enix, I kind of wince a little bit. And by the way, they are the
A little
ones.
apprehension in there.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've released a really solid product. Um, but I also winced by the way when we were talking about Marvel's Avengers because that game was published by Square Enix.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's their baby, and so I I don't know, man. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping beyond
Actually,
hope.
speaking of Marvel Avengers, something that I was thinking and I forgot to mention,
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to capitalize more in the video game industry. They have the Spider-Man, sure, but there's no other game until now. They've had some crossovers into other games and all.
You're talking about
But
Marvel?
I'm surprised they're only coming out with their own game now.
I mean, there's a bit of a history there. Like there was, obviously there was all the Marvel versus Capcom stuff, which again is, I know it's a crossover in another game. There was all of the Spider-Man games from the 1990s, and then there was their big one was, what was it called? It was another Avengers game, but it was like a top-down fighting game.
Oh yeah, I
What was that
remember
game called? I
that.
hated that game. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, well, I'm talking more of the recent games. The old Spider-Man games, yeah, like Spider-Man 2 was good, but
Hmm.
I mean the recent wave of what is it, 27 movies or something.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That's what I was thinking of.
That's right. I remember that game.
But yeah, they've been
I'd
really
forgotten
slow.
about that. Jeez.
They've been really slow coming to start video games.
Yeah, because this new game they're coming out with, it's from the first Avengers,
Hmm.
which came out what, 2012? It's been 7 years.
My guess is that when you're dealing with something like a big cinematic universe, there's a big issue of people complaining about you like milking the franchise for all it's worth. And to a certain extent they were, but they were also trying something new with it. And I bet they were probably worried that if they lean too heavily into merchandising and making video games and stuff, they might run out the clock on their success a little bit sooner. Does that make sense?
Mm,
Like, because now
kind of,
now
but at
it's
the
well
same time,
established. What's up?
what? But for me, I'm here thinking you're already making 1 to 2 movies a year, and they make $1 billion every time practically.
Hmm.
You're already making boatloads of money, and you are selling merchandise and stuff, and everyone loves it. Everyone has a Captain America T-shirt or something.
Hmm.
So what's a video game?
Yeah,
And especially now that we've had another good Spider-Man game, it just surprises me that it's taking them so long,
yeah. I don't know.
and it looks like it's shaping up to be. Well,
Oh, hey,
maybe not as good as the Spider-Man game.
as a last minute thing. Oh, first, we forgot to say Dying Light 2 is coming out, which I guess is pretty good. I still haven't played it. I gotta play
I
it with you.
mentioned that, but it's a game I'll probably pick up
Yeah. Did you see that they're
a
coming out
couple
with
months after.
did you see that they're coming out with Evil Genius 2? That's really exciting.
What's Evil
Evil
Genius?
Genius was a I don't remember exactly when it came out, but it was a top-down control game like kind of like RimWorld. It had kind of that command over, minions and stuff. And so the idea was that you're an evil genius and you can control this underground layer, and so you're building different rooms and sections onto it to become more evil and build your evil empire underground. And then you get to like I think you get to like launch bioweapons or nuclear bombs or something. It was that kind of game. It was really fun when I was a kid. I'm really excited to see another one.
Almost want to say. I think I'm thinking of another game where you build in a mountain or whatever or underground.
You're thinking of Fallout Shelter.
Absolutely not.
Are you
I'm
sure?
actually a little offended that you brought that up.
I know. I wanted you to be offended.
Oh wow, there's actually these people have a lot of hours in this game. I think it was a game kind of similar to this. Maybe it was.
In Evil Genius?
Yeah, where you build underground like that.
All right.
But I have not seen the second game's trailer or anything. Oh yeah, no, I remember this now.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you want to mention?
What was it? It was a remake.
Destroy All Humans?
It was the one with Destroy All Humans. It was the one with the aliens.
Yeah, that one was I had mixed feelings about that one. Destroy All Humans originally came out on the PS2. And maybe it's just because I'm getting used to having remakes with more stuff in them. But the Destroy All Humans that I've seen so far has been the exact same game that was displayed, years ago on the PlayStation 2, just with updated
just
graphics.
With better graphics.
Yeah, and so I don't know why I'm so upset about it. It's fine. Like that's fine. Like it was a good game. That's okay for them to do. But I was just kind of bummed about it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really have many opinions on it. It's just I saw it. I know the original game is pretty. It's pretty liked, and it's a PS2 era game that looks like it would probably just be lots of fun to play.
Yeah.
So it's a game that has a reputation behind it, and they probably aren't going to do it dirty or anything. So it's one of those games where it'll be on my wish list, and I'll buy it when I get around to it, as opposed to a day one buy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's probably how I'll do it too. I always wanted to play that as a kid. My parents never let me.
I'd never even heard of it as a kid, so.
All right, Jake, is that it?
I believe so.
All right, well, thanks so much for talking with me, and I'll talk to you on the next one.
All right.